Probably one of the most singular, powerful techniques for me to create the life that I want was actually using the power of water. I kind of likened water as life force personified, right? We can't see energy. We can't see spirit or the universe in action, but we can see water, and it creates everything. I mean, you wouldn't even have many of the beautiful deserts without water, and certainly we wouldn't exist. And so in this video, I was going to break down exactly how I used water to manifest my dream life. So without further ado, let's dive right into this video. Okay, so before we get into how I did the techniques, there's some other people I've talked about it, but I kind of did it my own unique way and got some amazing results. So if you're unfamiliar, there's a Dr. Emoto, and basically he was curious if water could retain memory and be affected by energy or consciousness. And that's essentially what he was out to discover. He said, well, if words are really just energy or frequency, perhaps I could have words affect water, then I could freeze the water, and I could capture the structure of the water and see if it changes based off of the consciousness observing it, based off of the music, based off of the environment, based off of the words being spoken to it. So what he did is he got a bunch of water. He got it all from the same exact source, right? One didn't come from tap, and one didn't come from pool, and one didn't come from a perfect spring. They all come from the same source. Then he put them in different containers, and he started doing different things, playing different styles of music, whether it was like very violent music or whether it was very uplifting music. And he would write words on them. So whether it's a piece of paper or whether he would write directly onto containers, and he would write words like love or abundance or death, Satan, and like all these different energies. Hate was one that he did, love and hate. And then he would freeze the water, and then he would basically take pictures of the structure of the water and then look through a microscope. And he found that the structure would entirely change. So when it was very negative music or very negative words or very hateful, aggressive energy, the structure of the water wouldn't form a crystal. It would be very murky and it would be very disoriented. The exact same way that our emotional state is very disoriented when we're very angry, when we're very negative, or we are around very negative people, or thinking very negatively and very angry and jealous. Our emotional realm follows that same trajectory. And then he did the same for positive vibe, and he found they formed perfect crystalline structures. Now, the reason that this is so interesting is because, of course, we're primarily made of water. I mean, even the brain itself is primarily made of water. I think we're 70, 80% water, which means that our own consciousness and our own words affect the structure of our cells. And if we can change or upgrade them or communicate with the water differently, our cells differently, life force differently, then we can, quite frankly, change our entire life. We can attract different things into our life. And that's what I set out to discover. And so I was going to break down now exactly how I did this process in my life. So I did this in two folds. Number one, I don't drink water out of a sink, even if it's filtered. I have water delivered, so they come in those 5-gallon jugs. And so the first thing that I did is, when the water would arrive and I'd put it in the container to be dispensed, I would take cards and I would write what I wanted on the cards, and I would tape them onto the big containers. And so I was embedding that energy into the water that I was drinking, into the life force that I was consuming, that was going to set the vibrational set point of my own cells, and ultimately, in turn, create what I would attract into my life. And so I write that only in the present tense, not in the future. It's not I hope. I don't write I wish. I write what I want, right? And I've talked about it on this channel before. I write only in the present tense. So you might write something about how much money you're earning. You might write something about romance. You might write something about health. You might write something about your career, about your job, about attracting your dream home. Right? I would write things about I wasn't earning any money, and I was struggling I was in reinvesting everything I was making, and I was struggling to build my career as an author and speaker. So my statement was about how much money I was earning every month, and that I was creating financial abundance for myself, and that I was positively impacting people's lives. And I would tape that onto my container. Now, I would also, every time I would get my water, I would say it out loud. If you have someone in your room with you when you're drinking your water, you could say it to yourself sometimes. You don't look like a total weirdo talking to your water. And so I would write it out. And then the other thing I do is I take my drinking cup, and I highly advise you do this, and take your index card and write what you want on it. So it's in the present tense. The reason we do this in the present tense is because energy is never created or destroyed. Albert Einstein even showed us that linear time doesn't truly exist. It's just an illusion. So energy is never created or destroyed, which means all the energy that ever was and ever will be, it already exists actually right now. And so based off of the words you're using, you're either projecting it into the future or the past. The money never comes when you hope that it comes, when you wish that it comes, when you want it to come one day, when you hope that that your soulmate comes one day. They never come, because we're just pushing it into the future. And so you write it in the present tense, and you tape it onto your card, just onto a nice clean one like that. You could do it onto your reusable water bottle when you go to work, whatever it is, your coffee mug, right? Whatever it is. But ideally, you're doing it on the things you're primarily drinking your water from. Now, this is doing two things. One, we know from Dr. Emoto's experiments that if the containers of water sit with words on them, the consciousness of the words, because words are just frequency patterns. So the consciousness of that words infiltrates essentially into the water, into the structure of the water. Then you're drinking that. And so essentially what's happening is you're getting an upgrade of life force energy that's directly in tune with the reality that you're intending to manifest. You are consciously programming water, which is life force, and retains memory. You're consciously programming it with what you want, whether it's a certain amount of money, whether it's your soulmate, whether it's health, whatever it is. You're consciously programming it. It's entering into your body. It's entering into your brain. it's rewiring your brain. It's upgrading your cells with a specific signature. And that specific signature is what you want. Because that water has just been coated with financial abundance. That water has just been coated with your soulmate. That water has just been coated with love, with success, with health, with opportunity. And then it enters you. It's actually, it seems esoteric, but it's actually a really simple, I think, very common sense process. We know for a fact that the water retains memory and it's affected by consciousness. We're primarily water. We know we're primarily water, right? That's why some animals act weird when they're during full moons. It's why some people can't sleep during full moons. We're affected by the tides. Because we're primarily water. And so all you need to do is get your index cards, write out what you want in the present tense, put it on the cups that you're using. You can make it a ritual where you rewrite it every day if you want, and then you tape it onto your new cup for the day. And as you're drinking it, what you're going to say is just repeat that affirmation with a feeling of gratitude, because water is consciousness itself. And so water responds to your feelings, because feelings are just conscious awareness of vibration. Feelings are us being consciously aware of our own energy. And so through the transmission of feeling, through the law of vibration, what you're doing is you're sending this signal into the water before it essentially upgrades all of your cells. So you're saying, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that I'm finally making that amount of money. I'm so glad that I attracted my soulmate, that my health is renewed, that I found an amazing job, that I have my dream home, whatever it is. You're saying it and you're practicing feeling it as you're drinking it, right? Or just before. So your cup is full. You're sending the consciousness into it of how grateful you feel that the money came, that your soulmate's here, that your health is better, whatever it is. And then as you're drinking it, all that energy that you just sent into it, first by the words of writing it down, second by sending the feelings of gratitude, all of that is supercharging directly into every single cell of your body and setting you up to attract amazing things back into your life. Now, just a couple quick notes. You can do this on your own, and you can do it with bring your reusable water when you're at the gym, when you're at work, your cups at your house, your containers of water. If you have someone that you live with, perhaps you have a husband, you have a wife, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you can do this together. I found that was very powerful as well. It was something that I always did because I found Emoto's books a long time ago. But then when my wife, Ashley, and I first moved in together in the early stages of dating, we started doing it together. And so we set financial goals together. We set life goals together. And the ones that were common, we wrote essentially on our community water, right? On our big container of water. So we were both sending the same signal to the water for financial abundance, for prosperity, for opportunity, for success. And so essentially we were double charging the water. And even if your husband or your wife isn't quite into the same stuff, one thing that you can do is write in big letters your goal, put it on that container about how much money you guys are earning or attracting your dream house. And even if they're not as into it, it's going to happen subconsciously. In the very least, they're going to look at it and it's going to remind them to think positively. But what they don't realize subconsciously is all of that is sending a signal directly to the water. So if you enjoyed today's episode, I thought I would break this down very quick, very easy, and very actionable, so you could apply this process into your life. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the like button on this video to send it out into the YouTube universe so more people see it. Make sure you hit the subscribe and bell notification to get notified for new videos. And if you haven't yet, be sure to check out my success hypnosis. I have a free success hypnosis. Besides starting to really understand the power of consciousness, right? This water technique it's really about understanding the power of consciousness and how consciousness is everything. Consciousness is water itself. Consciousness is every cell of your body. Consciousness is money. It's everything. So this technique is really kind of about understanding how powerful consciousness really is, even if we can't see it. So on top of that, the other thing that really changed my life was hypnotizing myself. If you don't think about it esoterically, we all heard about like the hypnosis that's like tries to make people bark like dogs, ruff, ruff, and all that stuff. Well, if you get away from that, what it really is the subconscious mind controls 95% of our life. And if you can reprogram the subconscious through repetition, you can change your life. And I made a very powerful hypnosis that has drastically changed my life. I went from dropping out of college to publishing numerous books with the world's top English publishing company. attracting my soulmate, my dream life, creating financial independence, being able to travel and live all over the world from San Diego to on the beach in Hawaii, now in the desert in America. Next on the list is the Cayman Islands. And it all came down to just really reprogramming myself. And it's right there down below. It's free. You can use it too. And it's in the description and pinned to the comments right there down below. Because I believe nobody's more special than anyone else. No one's really capable of more than anybody else. We're all equally capable of the same thing, which is infinite. Like, we have no idea how much we're really capable of. It would astound us. But first, we have to eliminate the limiting beliefs we don't even know we have. And so right there down below is my free success hypnosis. Be sure to check that out. Give me a comment down below that lets me know that you're excited about doing this water technique. Comment down below that thoughts create reality. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to stick around for the next one and give me a comment down below and let me know how this technique works for you. I'd love to feature your success story in a new video. So anyways, I'm wishing you an absolutely amazing day, and go like this real quick, and I'll see you next time.